Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Grin Guardian Gang. It's Friday night. We have a great show lined up for you. However, before we start, we have a big announcement we want to make about a partnership that we've joined up with all four of my shows will be live on another network. So I'm going to bring somebody else out on the screen here real quick. Hello there.
Hello, how are you, sir? Glad to join you.
Glad to be here. So, are we live?
It says we're live. That's all I know. Okay. I mean, welcome to the joys of live internet, TV, and all of that good stuff.
That's it. Well, so, yes. Tell us a little bit about what's going on, because I just pushed a few buttons and magically it happens.
I know that feeling. That's what I do all the time. No, to introduce myself and to introduce you to our fans, I am, a lot of people know me as Dirty, but I go by Spurge. I am the creator and co-founder and chairman of the board for Fuel Sports Network, but the acronym for Fuel actually means Fans United Experience Legion. And we're excited to partner up with you guys and all of your shows because, there's fans for this kind of stuff, right? And this is what it's about. It's about bringing fans together and uniting fans and giving them an experience and giving them a place to broadcast their material and their content. So it's an exciting partnership. It's something different because, we've been mainly focusing on sports, certain sports, football and stuff like that. But guess what? Those seasons are coming to an end and we need more content. So it's a perfect partnership.
Yeah, well, tonight's show is the Grin and Guardian show. We're public safety oriented, where we have police officers, firefighters, military come in and talk about either some of their stories or some of them are authors. And then we talk about challenge coins, which is kind of a military thing. And you'll learn as we go along here. Monday night we have the UFL with the Lip In, and they're on your network already. So we'll have their show. And then Wednesday we have the Paranormal Guys, which is it's also kind of an entertainment show where we discuss paranormal things, but we bring in athletes, actors, authors, anyone, get their story. Then the hook is we ask them, do you got any stories things that go bump in the night?
So you're going to have to have me on that show because I live here in St. Louis and there's a place called the Limp Mansion that is an actual, has a funny thing to where it's haunted. And I have a very funny story about that place. So yeah, It's really interesting. But yeah, with Fuel, one of our COO, her name is Amber Pena, and she is our COO of Fuel, and she is actually a military vet. So she knows about some of your stuff, and she actually does a show called the A Team, where it's a women's perspective on football. So it's stuff like that. So Fuel was created for fans like you with your guys' types of shows to where they can get their stuff out there, because all these shows have fans, and it's just another place where you can get more eyes on your product and more fans can interact and have an experience with your show.
And I forgot to mention, if you're mobile and you can't watch YouTube, which you shouldn't be driving and watching YouTube, or Fuel TV, you can tune into the Yerg's Radio Network, yergsradio.com, and they offer us toll-free number that we're utilizing, 1-888-88-YERGZ, YERGZ on your phone pad, the alphabetic part. So we have people call in too. So
don't also forget, see, you're worldwide now because you're also now on Roku and Fire Stick. You can go download the Fuel Sports app, the Fuel Sports Network app on Roku and Fire Stick, and you can watch it on any Roku device or Amazon Fire Stick device. So now you're worldwide.
Coast to coast and around the world. I got a button for that somewhere over here. So
I do too, somewhere. It's just, I just hit my button and it goes to Fuel, and then I'm on Roku. So that's all I know. So yeah.
Well, great. So and tomorrow night, if everybody wants to tune in at 9 p.m. our time, local here on the East Coast, we have the Misfits show, where we have some comedians are going to come in with our normal group of misfits, and we're going to have we'll go around with what's your favorite joke. So that should be fun.
Yeah, and so for the people who, trying to where does this all fit in? Again, it's like I said, what the acronym for Fuel is Fans United Experience. And this is an experience for everybody to watch stuff, and it's an experience, and it's where fans can go and talk about their stuff. So this network is a fan-driven network, and it's fans creating content for their fans and for the different niche groups that they have. I mean, like, where would you find this stuff that we have on our network? You'd have to go searching for it. So what we did at Fuel is we created the network to bring everybody to one place to where they're not searching it all over, but everybody still gets credit on all of their stuff because it takes them to their pages and stuff like that. So it's just a networking to help everybody become and grow and to connect people in different ways, because people might be watching our sports show and then they see your guys' show for the public safety and the military and stuff and say, ooh, I'm going to check that out on a Friday night. Or, you know, they're watching your show and you're talking about sports and say, oh, well, you know, they have that UFL stuff or they have a baseball show. Oh, I might go and check that out. So it's about helping and creating the experience between all these content creators is what Fuel is really all about.
That's great. I'm excited to be a part of it. It was a little bit nervous that all I had to do was push a few buttons, but
it's all good. Don't even worry about it. I mean, listen, it's first night jitter, so there's always bugs to work out. I mean, I always make mistakes, and I've been doing this for 6 years, so I always make mistakes still to this day with it. And my co-founder, my partner Arlington, gets mad at me all the time. So yeah, it's all fun. So who cares?
Well, good deal. Well,
yeah,
I appreciate it. I'm going to send you the link to tomorrow night's show if you're free at 9:00. You want to hop in then as well too. And
I will actually be covering a wrestling event here in St. Louis. I will be at a wrestling event recording video for a wrestling event called Pro Epic Wrestling, who is partnered up with us, and that you can start seeing their content on our network also. So I'll be there covering that. So yeah, I never stop. It never stops.
Well, we will still be live on your channel then. So
that is true, but I will tune in. Don't worry. I will tune in. And here's the best part about it, Glenn. If people don't watch it live because of the way our app is set up, they can actually go back and watch your episodes because it's set up as like a Netstick or a Netflix type channel to where you'll have your own little tab on the channel and people can go back and watch, you know, your last month's show. So they'll be able to go back and watch them and stuff like that. So that's another good feature that we have with Fuel.
Good. I like it. I like it a lot.
So there, yeah. But I am at dinner and I'm already got yelled at by the CFO and the CEO. And they're like, well, I was like, I got to go do this. We're introducing the new show. I was like, so I have to go do this real quick. And they're like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'm like, you know, the joys of my phone never stopping ringing. So,
no, I get
you know, but I am excited to have you guys on. Looking forward to the partnership and the much more things that we got coming from Fuel, you guys, and all of that stuff. So it's very exciting time for the Fuel Network.
Yes, it is. And yeah, we got some sports stuff coming up too. So
we're gonna have a lot of stuff coming up.
So, all right. Well, I'm gonna get to my other guests and show hosts here, and let you go have dinner. Tell the missus that we apologize, but
it's all good.
We're
she's used to it. She's used to it by now.
Well, mine just got home from work, so she's hiding.
Oh man. Well, you better hurry and get your show done so you can go spend time with the missus.
All right, man. Let me know if there's any technical glitches. We will see you soon.
No worries. I will, man. Have a good show and congratulations. And I'm looking forward to the partnership.
I am so much looking forward to it. So thank you. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Not a problem. Later.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's bring on my other co-host here real quick, and we'll say a quick hello and introduce yourself. Maria Pisa says it's great that we're on this. So cool. She must be watching.
That's freaking awesome.
So yeah, that's our big announcement. We are now live on Fuel TV. I'm going to bring our guest. Wait, hold on, I got a button.
Ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast and around the world, you're listening
to
the That show.
I hope that person's tuned in. All right, because they're not here on TV or radio. So, haha. All right, let's bring in Brian. Brian, this show's all about you, and sorry, I know that was a little impromptu. We actually shook the hands on the agreement. I think 2 days ago. So it wasn't up until I was figuring out how to program it till this afternoon. So
congratulations.
So well, thank you.
Glenn, that was Uncommon Soul.
Oh, okay. It's Uncommon Soul. Well, hello, Uncommon Soul. And Console's one of our regular listeners and watchers or viewers, so that's cool.
She's tripping us out, man.
Yeah, I don't know who this movie person is. So Brian, yes, that's true. So Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself. You've had quite a career.
Yeah. So thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. Name's Brian Townsend. I spent 28 years in law enforcement. I started my career in Joplin, Missouri, back in the 90s. I was a police officer there for 5 years, and my dream job was a special agent with the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, and I was able to go to DEA in 1999 and spend the next 23 years of my career. First 10 in Arkansas, almost 7 in Corpus Christi in South Texas, and then about 4 years in Quantico, Virginia at our training academy. And then the last 2 years, I came back to Springfield, Missouri, where I was the resident agent in charge. I was in charge of DEA operations in the 25 counties in Southwest Missouri that we served. And then in 2022, I decided to retire and open up my own training and consulting business, which I currently do. And I also work for a risk center called the Mid-States Organized Crime Information Center. I'm a law enforcement training coordinator for them. So in addition to training and consulting on my own, I also do training for law enforcement for them in the 9 states that they serve in the Midwest. So that's me in a snapshot.
Busy man.
Yeah, probably more busy now than ever.
I was going to say, didn't you just use the word retired?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, so it sounds like how my grandpa did things. He's like, yeah, I'm retiring. And by retiring, I mean going back to work.
I like being busy. It just keeps me sane. So, and I just want to do something different. And I loved my job. I loved the DEA. It was a great career, but just was time to do something different. New chapter in my life.
Sometimes you just got to go do your own thing too.
Absolutely.
We kid Matt a lot. He's fixing to punch out, and I keep telling him, "I say, you look like you're 12." How are you punching out?
I wish, yeah. So I got 22 and a half years in the Navy right now. I'm the chief. So yeah, I think Glenn always gets on my butt about it. He's telling me what I get to look forward to in retirement. There's no green light at the end of the tunnel. It's actually just keeps going. So
yes, it does.
Hopefully you'll be able to relax a little bit and find some time for you and then figure it out.
Yeah, hopefully. I got a baby on the way in June, so
congratulations. That's awesome.
No retiring for you.
No,
like I said, yeah.
So, retiring to diaper duty.
It's the kind of retirement, not really, but yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, it is nice that you can, for both of you, have good, federal jobs and government positions and punch out at your age, because there's a lot to do out there. I'm still learning, it's crazy out here.
Yeah, very fortunate. Very fortunate. I could have stayed till I was 57 in the job series I was, but again, I just felt like I was young and I was ready to do something different. I had a great office, great people, no personnel problems, which is always 90% of the battle when you're a boss, and everything was good. So everybody thought I was crazy for leaving, but no regrets. I miss working with my friends and I miss my colleagues, but we're still friends, and now I can do something different and kind of set my own schedule. So
absolutely. And I need to make a little plug here while I can. One of our show sponsors, the Thin Line Rock Station, is an online net station that plays rock and well, we play a little bit of everything. I'm on there Tuesdays and Thursdays from noon to 4.
Where they play disco.
Yeah. The program director, he's going to hit me now with a lot of disco. I'll start with Disco Duck next show. I guarantee it. But it's a internet radio station designed for law enforcement, firefighters, public safety. Thin Line Rock Station, the thinlinerockstation.com. They got an app as well. You can check it out. So those are a bunch of retired guys that went and started a radio station. So yeah.
Sounds like a pretty great way to spend retirement.
Yeah.
Listening to music, chilling.
Any openings?
Listen to you, already wanting to find another job. Well, you were saying you started on so you actually are just like Matt. You started to work your way up from the patrolman all the way up to you had your own. I don't know what the proper word is, but team, I guess.
Yeah, I always dreamed of being in the DEA from high school. I know that sounds kind of odd at a young age, but I didn't know how to get there. I really, we didn't have the internet, and at least not like we have it now, and information available at your, in your pocket, the cell phones and things like that. But a friend actually suggested just, hey, why don't you try local law enforcement? And I thought, all right. And first day I was hooked, and I had to be careful because I knew it was something I only wanted to do for a little bit until I could get to DEA. But I say I had to be careful because it was something I could probably have done for 20, 25 years. I mean, it was just it was a fun career, and it really taught me a lot. But it had a good department, a good city, good people I worked with. But like I said, I was just wanted to go to DEA and do something that I was, which was a goal of mine.
Sure. When you get hired at the DEA, obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, do you start there as, I don't know what the correct word be, a patrolman or whatever, the lower rank, or how does that work?
So I went for special agent, a criminal investigator. That's a series 1811. You go to Quantico for anywhere from a 16 to an 18-week academy. And then you're assigned your first office. You find out your assignment. At that time, you find out your assignment while you're in the academy. So I was there and found out that I would be stationed in Little Rock, Arkansas. And as soon as I graduated, I had a few days to get to Little Rock. so I got there and actually took that week off and moved everything. I was in Missouri at the time, so it wasn't too bad of a trip. So yeah, you're a special agent at graduation. They give you your gold badge, and you get shipped off to your office of assignment, and you start your career.
What was some of your most challenging aspects of that job? I don't know too much about that. Is it pretty challenging?
It can be. It's also pretty rewarding. I mean, one thing I really loved about DEA, and I found out pretty early on, was our relationship with other law enforcement is exceptionally well. I mean, we get along very well with the state and local law enforcement, other feds, and that was really cool. It wasn't really a challenge. That was just a nice surprise that you go to almost any DEA office in the United States, and you're going to find state and local officers that are assigned to the task force. I mean, without the task force, DEA would have a very, very small footprint in federal law enforcement. We really rely on our state and federal partners, or our local state and federal partners, and some of the best investigators I ever worked with came from that pool. So yeah, the challenges are I think they're the same as any other job, just trying to navigate different personalities, tough prosecutors, tough judges, defense attorneys, criminals who are, trying to evade and, or try to avoid capture and just the same things that other law enforcement agencies battle with, and some of the same things all organizations battle with, like I said, the different personalities and things. But it was good. I was very fortunate to surround myself with some really smart people and good people, and got involved with some very aggressive teams and players who we just love to work. We love to put cases together and put bad guys in jail. And I'm very fortunate that I was working around a lot smarter people than I was. So.
Awesome. Do you have any cool stories to share? I mean, not giving any details, but just no names kind of thing.
I actually had a pretty cool undercover operation that was actually featured on A&E. There's a show on A&E called Undercover Caught on Tape.
Oh, nice.
And they're in season 1 right now. And episode 6, if you watch episode 6, the last 20 minutes is me talking about that operation. And that was an interesting operation. Reader's Digest version is I was working an investigation, a conspiracy investigation of a target that was selling meth and marijuana. And I was able to cut him out with his marijuana source of supply and go directly to them. And they were members of the Gulf Cartel who lived in Mexico on the other side of McAllen, Texas. And ultimately, I was able to meet them in Dallas, Texas, actually, and further negotiate the sale of, I think it was a few hundred pounds of weed as kind of an introductory purchase. And we just did what we call a buy bust. As soon as they brought the weed, we arrested them and several others as part of the original conspiracy investigation. But that was a pretty good case, pretty fun, kind of a sexy case. And like I said, it was featured on the A&E series, which was a cool experience as well.
That's awesome.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
Live TV.
Yeah. What's that TV show that's on every weekend? Is it Live PD, or it used to be Live PD? I think it's called something else now. So I enjoy it. Well, my wife watches that more than I do. So, but yeah. How long does it take you to get to a purchase like that? Is that something, I'm sure you had to make little ones and work your way up to a bigger one, or?
Yeah, I actually got pretty lucky on that one. So like I said, we were working a conspiracy investigation. So we were looking at all parts of the organization, people that were transporting, people that were manufacturing, people that were money laundering. And we were trying to put all of them together and hold them accountable for the crimes, and it's part of the larger organization. And my target, who happened to live in Arkansas at the time, found out about my investigation because I made no secret that I was after him. I was interviewing a lot of his co-conspirators and just anyone I knew who he was associated with in the drug business. And of course, some of those folks didn't cooperate, and many of them would tell him that, hey, DEA is asking me questions about you. So, and he had so many problems, personal problems. He was getting robbed a lot. He was in his debt with the cartel was growing further and further. So he was facing that challenge, and then he was facing me investigating him. So he started to just camp out in the woods, literally. He was avoiding everyone and everything. And so his customers, his main customers, they needed a plug. They needed him, and he was their source, but he was nowhere to be found. And then so that caused a problem. And then the members of the cartel were looking for him because he owed them a lot of money. A lot of the dope was fronted to him. They give him the money, and then he sells it, and then he pays them whatever they agreed upon price is, and gets more on the front and continues this relationship. But he was in debt really, really bad with them. So they actually they came into town a couple times looking for him, and there was an assault. It was all kinds of crazy stuff. You have to watch the show for that part, or I can tell you. But so now he's hiding from me and from everyone else. The cartel's looking for him, actively looking for him, and I'm looking for him, not to arrest him. I'm just trying to put this investigation together. And I had a cooperator, an older gentleman who was securing money for him at his residence. He was hiding money in duffel bags, and somehow they found out. The cartel found out, and they sent a couple people over, and they beat him up pretty bad. Took the money, and they were still looking for the target. And I had, interestingly enough, I had actually tried to interview this guy prior to that incident, and he told me to go pound sand. He had no interest in talking to me. So then that happens, and of course everything changed. He couldn't get a hold of me fast enough, and I said, hey, give him, if they call you or if they contact you, give them my number. Obviously, I didn't tell him I was a DEA agent. I just said, here's my cell phone number, give it to him. And man, you couldn't have scripted this any better. Sure enough, probably within an hour or two, they called him, and he says, hey, I don't know where the guy is, but this guy might. So they immediately called me, and I played it off as I was one of his customers, and I was out of dope, and I needed dope. And in the dope world, people were always trying to cut out their source and go above that person, because it's, typically you get a better price, and there's a lot of reasons why they do that. So I was able to convince them that, hey, let's remove this guy. Let me deal with you direct. And they bought it hook, line, and sinker. I mean, it took some time. We had to, we had to work that relationship, but it was primarily on the telephone. They were in South Texas at the time, and also in Mexico. And I was in Little Rock at the time. And, but we worked out the logistics. They wanted me to come to Mexico, and I said no. They wanted me to come to the border. I said no. I was able to convince them to come to Dallas, which they did agree to. And we were just going to do an introductory purchase of a couple £100. And if everything went well, I was going to start, buying a couple £1,000 of weed from them, whenever I needed it. So they two guys came to a hotel room that we had all kinds of surveillance set up in, and we had a SWAT team, a local agency had their SWAT team on the ground. We had a helicopter in the air, and they ended up taking my vehicle and driving it to a stash house in Dallas, where they loaded a couple £100 of weed and then brought it back to the hotel. I gave the bus signal, and we all went down, including myself, which caused a lot of confusion. So that's actually, I told you more than the Reader's Digest version. I just told you that.
Yeah, hey, that's what we want. And especially tonight with us being on a brand new TV network. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun case. I learned a lot. Now, when you watch A&E, you're going to hear me say this was the first time I ever worked undercover. And that was a little Hollywood there. They kind of like that. It was the first time I worked this level of undercover. I did a lot of smaller undercover work prior to that, but it didn't mess up the integrity of the case or anything like that. So I didn't mind fibbing on that.
And you got to see what it's like to be arrested and
and on the hot Texas pavement in August.
Yeah, imagine that wasn't very fun.
And there was a lot of confusion, and in fact, they were in denial. One of them was in denial. I mean, they have discovery, and the attorneys put it together pretty quick, but we were in a courthouse, and that was the first time since that operation that I'd seen one of the defendants, and he looked up, and his eyes were talking to me like, "I'm going to kill you right now." And I mean, I still remember that's just burned into my memory. But
now, how nerve-wracking is all that whenever you're especially getting into working around the cartel people, and they're after the same guy that you are, and he owes them money.
Yeah. I mean, they made it clear that they wanted him dead. I was an ally at the time because I didn't care about him. I just wanted a source of supply. So my motivation was to buy drugs straight from them, and they looked at me as a customer. So yeah, I mean, I was nervous. I can't say I wasn't, but I had a really, really good team. I was able to bring my team in from Arkansas. We worked with our Texas counterparts, DEA and local law enforcement down there, and I trust these guys with my life, and we've been in some bad situations in the past. So I knew they had my back, and that always makes you feel a lot more secure.
That's awesome. So you guys said you guys have your backs. You guys are kind of like your own family kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. A family. I mean, that's you spend so much time, and you do dangerous things, and that just creates a bond.
Yeah. Dang, I joined the wrong organization, Brian. I should have joined you. I was floating on boats in the middle of nowhere, man.
You probably a lot more exciting than the military. Law enforcement stuff. Oh, yeah. It's like quiet, and then all of a sudden you're just 90 miles an hour for 5 minutes, and then it's quiet again. I mean, that's the career in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The DEA investigates more than just drugs too, right?
No, I mean, that's our primary.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're criminal investigators is what I was. We have other parts of the DEA. We have diversion investigators. So they look at the diversion of legal drugs into the illegal market. So let's say a pharmacist is stealing Percocets and selling them on the street or something like that. We have chemists, we have intelligence analysts. There's a lot more than just the criminal investigator, the 1811 series, but that's the heart of, or at least that's the majority of what DEA is, I should say.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm always surprised to learn. I've interviewed, of course, Secret Service agents, and they talk about, how they go over financing and credit, and, and in the ATF, of course, that sounds like a big party, alcohol, tobacco, firearms. So I interviewed a couple of them. And so, it's always curious how each has their own little thing, but it sounds like you all really were small and unique to.
Yeah. Title 21 drugs were, occasionally you might get assigned to work a drug-related murder, but that's typically you're working with, local investigators or detectives, things like that. But then we typically, or depending on where you're assigned, you might get information on terrorism or weapons or, home invasions. I mean, you hear it all from the informants. So obviously we would we pass that information along to the appropriate agencies.
Dang.
You had said that was something you wanted to do from like a young age. What kind of happened to automatically say you wanted to go work for the DEA?
Yeah, I saw drugs early on in my age. Not in my own family, thankfully, but just growing up in my neighborhood, just around me, and I saw what it was doing, and it just really had a profound effect on me pretty early in life. And I just knew that one is I didn't want to put any of this garbage in my body, and number two is I wanted to do whatever I could to be part of the solution and go after people, especially that are selling.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a poison, and it hurts. It hurts people. It hurts families. It hurts communities. And I just made this crazy decision when I was in high school. I know everyone thinks that's nuts, being so young, but I was at a career field. I didn't even know what DEA was. I was at a career field or career fair at my high school. I grew up in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC, and there were some DEA agents there, and I kind of knew what they were, but I really didn't. And I was so impressed with those guys and just the mission. And I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. And
that's cool.
Yeah. I got lucky.
Where did you grow up? I grew up in Mount Vernon in Fairfax.
Oh, okay. I was in Prince William County. So
okay. Right down the street.
A little bit further down the street. Yeah.
Yeah. Down Route 1 highway, the bad highway.
95 and Route 1. Still, There's still probably people sitting in traffic from when we were there.
Yeah, that's cool that you did that and you knew at such a young age, and and you made it happen. That's I guess the most impressive part.
And you made it.
Yeah, I didn't know how. I just perfect storm, pieces fell together. I've told this story before, but when I was in high school, I was a very average student. I wasn't an athlete. My grades weren't great. I just didn't stand out at all. And my guidance counselor actually told me, "Don't go to college. Your parents are gonna waste money if you go to college." And this is back, when guidance counselors could say things like that. Now that they'd be tarred and and living on the streets. But and I'm not bitter about it. I'm not upset about it. But so I was trying. How am I going to do the things I want to do? I'm being told I shouldn't even go to school. And on top of that, no one in my family had ever been to school before or college before. But I did. I went to school. I got 3 degrees and became a police officer. And like I said, I just followed my dream. I just tried to take small steps until I opened the door that I needed to be opened.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And I had a guidance counselor tell me that too. Just like, well, okay, I'll just go be a fireman. So you still end up going to college. Well, if you want to get promoted up the ladder. So, but that's so cool. Go ahead, Matt.
So Brian, what are you doing now that you're not doing fun stuff anymore?
Yeah.
So I know we're talking about time, but what's what's the aftermath now?
So I immediately started my own training and consulting business, Eagle 6 training. And I do a lot of training with law enforcement still, and some business and some consulting with business. And one of the programs that I put on was a program on illicit fentanyl. The short story is I had a 4-day narcotics class that I had put together, and then I was trying to piece that out into smaller blocks. One on cocaine, one on methamphetamine, one on marijuana, and then one on opioids. And then that just kind of blossomed and took off, and illicit fentanyl is such a problem that was ended up being the most requested class. And I just kept on doing it and building it. It was originally a 2-hour class for law enforcement, and now it's a 4-hour class. It's for anyone. I've done it 62 or 63 times now. I've been in 16 states with it. Just started my own nonprofit organization called Only 2MG. It's myself and a board of directors made up of all retired DEA agents. And our mission is drug prevention and awareness. Our focus is illicit fentanyl and letting people know that only 2 milligrams is enough to kill you. But of course, we want people to be aware, especially kids, to be aware of the dangers of all drugs. So like I said, my primary audience has still been adults, the 4-hour program, but we just got into youth education. I do a 1-hour youth program. I just did one a couple weeks ago. I had 99 college kids. I think it went pretty well. The message isn't to just say no. It's nothing like that. It's just, let's just tell them, let's just be real. Let's tell them what the dangers of the drugs are, and hope they make informed decisions. Because a lot of kids just don't realize that, when you talk about 2 milligrams of anything, 2 milligrams is a couple granules of salt or sand. I mean, that's nothing. I think about a sugar packet. A typical sugar packet's 1 gram. That's 1,000 milligrams. So 2 milligrams is a deadly dose. So that means that sugar packet is 500 deadly doses of fentanyl, if it were fentanyl. 1 sugar packet. So I show that to kids. I actually bring sugar packets in and I show that to kids. And I said, now think about that when that's sprinkled into, of course it's replaced heroin, but, sprinkled into methamphetamine or cocaine. And of course the pills, that's a big thing for especially the kids, Adderall, Xanax, Oxy, Vicodin, Percocet, you name it. So that's been a big passion of mine. I know I just kind of started talking about that, but that's a huge passion of mine. And one of the reasons I started a nonprofit, I'm probably the only person with a nonprofit who didn't lose a loved one. I've lost a lot of friends who've lost kids. But I wanted to show people that anyone can make a difference. Anyone can stand up and take small steps and hopefully, convince people to make informed decisions and live a drug-free life. So that's what I'm hoping I'm doing. I hope I'm inspiring people, especially young people, to understand the dangers and make informed decisions.
Man, so Brian retired, and instead of going fishing and golfing, you're right back into doing exactly what he's doing.
I still do that sometimes.
Oh, good.
Making sure the kids say no to drugs.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I wish I could do that in the military, because once we go, that's it. There's no other door. But
yeah, it's been rewarding. I gotta tell you, it really has. We got a lot of plans, and hopefully we're gonna scale this thing and reach more, especially younger people. That the adolescent market, age 14 to 18. Last year we lost 22 adolescents every week in this country. That's like a classroom.
Yeah.
And then the overall problem, I don't think people understand the scope of it. We lose 12 to 13 people every single hour in this country because of drugs. Yeah. And 75% of those people are lost because of synthetic opioids like fentanyl. Yeah. That's one person basically every 5 minutes. And I know there's a stigma, and we want to call these people, addicts, and we want to make all these, we want to say all these things about them, but they're human beings, and you know, and there are brothers and our sisters and our family members and our neighbors and our, you know, and this problem is just getting worse. We got to do something.
That's one thing that I always trained my paramedic and EMT students. Don't look at the person. They may be homeless. They may be an alcoholic on the street. They may be whatever. They still get sick. They still get injured. You know, treat them as human. And
absolutely,
you're right. If there towards the end of my career, if there wasn't one a shift, there was at least one a week overdose in a small. Of course, I'm in Atlanta, but in a small area, still outside of Atlanta, that's crazy. And I don't know. You hear on the news and read on the news and stuff, they talk about it's all coming across the border. Is that true? Or, I mean, how do you stop that? You were at the border with that bus. How do you stop that? I mean, they're smart. They get smarter every day, I guess.
Yeah, and that is true. So most fentanyl comes from China to Mexico. India is number 2, but China is number 1 for the product and for the precursor chemicals to make the product. So they get shipped right to Mexico in bulk, just metric tons of this stuff, and then they smuggle it into the U.S. in the same distribution routes that they've smuggled, you know, marijuana, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, any other drug. And I would say, well, I've read statistics that at least 70 to 80% of the fentanyl brought into the U.S. comes from Mexico. I don't know how it's not higher. I mean, we know that the Sinaloa cartel and the CJNG are the 2 main cartels responsible for most of the fentanyl that floods into the United States. How you stop it? That's a good question. You know, we have a problem at the border, and unfortunately, it's so political. It's even tough to talk about because then it's like, oh, you must be a Republican or you must be a Democrat. You know, they're looking for a label to put on you, and then once they decide what your label is, depending on where they stand, they no longer listen to you if they're the opposite, and that's not healthy. You know, and the border's a mess. You know, and here's the thing about the border, and for you all or for listeners or whoever, we've been doing border security in this country since 1924. 100 years we've been doing border security. We've been using barriers. We've been using, you know, now we use drones and sensors and all kinds of things to protect this country. And that's not a new thing. That's been supported by both parties, many presidents. You know, this has been a battle in our country long before Trump and Biden have been alive. Barely, but yeah, that's a big problem there. I mean, are you going to stop all drugs that come in the U.S. if we did more on the border? Obviously not. You know, the cartels, the traffickers are going to find ways to bring it in. But that would be a great start. You know, our relationship with China is, you know, marginal at best. You know, and of course we can't trust anything they say. Our relationship in the law enforcement world with Mexico is horrible. You know, I can say those things now that I'm retired. You know, I mean, there's been a lot of articles written in the last 6 months on the president and the administration down there on what they're not doing and not supporting in the ways of fentanyl, you know, coming into the U.S. You know, I can think of one. Rutgers put a story out in December of 2023, and it talked about all the inactive labs being seized by Mexican law enforcement. So inactive labs. So we give them intel, and then by the time they get it, the lab is inactive. And of 1,600 labs they raided, 89% of those labs were inactive. Now I can promise you that intel we gave them, they weren't inactive. And that's just, I mean, that's just a tip. There's so many problems going down there. We need to figure out that relationship. You know, we need, the big thing is, and yeah, I should say this because, you know, we want to blame the cartels, and it's easy to blame the pharmaceutical industry, and it's easy to blame the drug traffickers. But at the end of the day, drug prevention is preventable. I'm sorry, drug use is preventable. We need drug prevention in this. It works. You know, we know now that going into schools, talking to kids, it actually works. I mean, if you look at the research in the last 5, 10, even 20 years, drug prevention works. The number of kids using drugs in this country outside of weed and outside of alcohol is actually the lowest it's ever been. I mean, look at Monitoring the Future study. It's a study that University of Michigan's been putting out for years and years and years. And their data is the same thing. I mean, the lowest drug use in 20 years, but yet the number of people dying is at historical highs. But my point is that we can look at all these villains and point to all of them and blame them. But man, we got a problem in this country with drugs, and it's greater than any other country in the world. I mean, our taste for drugs is like, we use pills for everything, right? I mean, look what happened with the opioids in the mid 1990s. The pharmaceutical industry convinced the entire medical industry that we needed to treat pain differently. So in 1996, we added pain as a fifth vital sign, and then voila, they introduced OxyContin into the drug supply. We went from barely giving opioid prescriptions out to giving them out to everyone for anything. I mean, if you had a wisdom teeth taken out, you probably went home with 30, 60, 90 hydrocodone pills. Your kid got hurt pitching in Little League, probably went home with 30 or 60 or 90 pills. I mean, that was overnight, and that had a profound impact on people. The number of people who were dying of drug poisonings and overdoses was increasing. And then that resulted in more heroin use, because we know now that most people who are on heroin, a vast majority of people who use heroin, started with legal opioids. And then of course, fentanyl got into supply, and I'm bouncing everywhere. But my point is we need to get back to just talking to people and talking to our kids and giving them information to allow them to make informed decisions. That's the biggest thing is don't be afraid to talk to children, whether it's your own or whether you have an opportunity to go into a school or church or whatever. Talk to kids and tell them the dangers of this stuff. And it's part of the reasons I do what I do, and I'm trying to move more into the youth education, is because I'm finding out that a lot of folks just don't. You know how hard it is to get parents to come to these programs. It's super hard. I'm not going to tell the school district because I don't want to embarrass them, but I was working with a school district that was bringing in several experts. They had they teen pregnancy, they had nutrition, they had predators, they had bullying, they had drugs, which was me. They had all these folks, and then they thought, okay, let's do this 2 different nights. We'll do this one on a weekday evening, and then we'll do this one on a Saturday morning. So that we'll give parents who work, 2 different opportunities, and then they spaced them out. So it wasn't like a Wednesday night and the next Saturday. Like, they spaced the days out. So 2 great opportunities to get all kinds of information. You know how many parents showed up to this event? 17.
Wow. 17
parents. I mean, and this is, well, I get so frustrated thinking about that.
Well, I work the streets. I understand. What do you think now about, and I mean, I have a personal feeling about it, but Narcan on every corner is like AEDs.
Yeah, I struggle with it at first, but I actually like it. It is saving lives. I am totally good with it. I know there's people who are frustrated. They want to see EpiPens. They want to see other things. I get it. I'd love to see cheaper medicine. I'd love to see EpiPens available to everyone as well. That's a pharmaceutical issue there. But I like. I actually support it. I have a source now for naloxone, for Narcan, and when I speak, I typically give a couple boxes out, and I'm happy to. I have no problem with it. Saving human life is important. I hope those people can find treatment and get into recovery, and I've met a lot of them who have, and they've gone on to do amazing things in life, and that's awesome. And that's what that drug does. It gives them an opportunity to at least have a chance for recovery. What I've learned that, anyone who's battling addiction has a story worth telling. I met some amazing people who I never thought in a million years I would have an opportunity to talk to and get to know, but I'm glad I have. I've always been empathetic to it. I'm not saying there shouldn't be consequences for the things we do in life. I'm not saying that there's a free ride for using drugs or anything like that. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, these are human beings, and don't we have a moral responsibility to make this world better? So.
Very true. Very true.
So, Brian, DEA, right? So you got to be having some really awesome challenge coins that you probably got from like some high up people, right?
I got a few.
You got one of your like prized possessions that nobody will ever touch or sell, or nothing. No cool story with it or anything.
I have a couple that from offices that are closed. Friends who've worked for different offices, especially overseas. And their office will make a coin, and then the office closes, and I have a few of those. The most special ones I have are, when I teach or do some type of training with a department, and then they thank me with the handshake and give me a coin. That's always special. I've bought several coins, Quantico. When the DEA Academy was built in 1999. Prior to that, we shared dorm space and other space with the FBI there at the Marine Corps base in Quantico. And 20 or 25 years, I think it was 20 years later. Yeah, 20 years later, they did a kind of a 20-year anniversary. And it was cool because I was at the Academy in 1999. My class was the first to move from the FBI building into the DEA building, which was really cool because that was our space. You know what I mean? I had nothing against the FBI. I won't say nothing's wrong with the FBI. I still have to pull my digs at them, right? But it was a sense of pride, to come to our own building. And then 20 years later, we had a kind of a 20-year celebration, and they made a special coin for it. So that was a special coin. I don't have it with me right here, but yeah, that was pretty cool. So.
You were in that one.
Yeah, I did.
That's good. Yeah. So your coins, most of them were given to you, so they have a higher meaning. Like you can point to them like, yep, that's got a story. That's got a story. That's got a story. Yeah,
I have some military ones too, but I didn't. I only earned a few of those when I worked with the military. My father retired from the Army, and coins weren't a big thing back. 30, 40 years ago, but for whatever reason, he had a few, and he gave them to me, and so they hold a sentimental value. So I have those as well.
That's awesome.
With me finding out about them, I was curious if my father-in-law had known anything about him, and he's like, a what? But he was back in Vietnam, so.
Oh yeah, that's my father as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really popular during that time.
Did you guys ever get into the chips? A lot of organizations were moving the chips were a little cheaper than the coins, but I only have a few of those. The coins.
Yeah, you talking about the poker chips?
Yeah, the poker chips, but it have a unit or a office or whatever on it.
Yeah, we have the military does that depends on the units. I think from more over here though, I'm over in Fallon, so it's as it goes down. But the officers have their own little it's kind of like a poker chip Vegas style thing that they have. They're actually pretty nice.
Yeah, nice.
But, yeah,
usually a little cheaper than the coins.
Yeah. Well, there's actually different versions of the poker chips. There's like a clay composite. The ones they use down in Vegas, I believe, are clay, like the compound ones. Ooh, you can actually tap it on the table, and you can tell the difference between the weight. Like you said, it's not like a cheap thing, So yeah, what about patches though? You guys do patches of DA?
Okay, well, I don't know what just happened there. That was a little crazy.
Cool. There you go.
Something.
It's just a test.
Something had to happen tonight.
Yeah, I have no idea what that was about, but yeah.
Nice. I was asking Brian about patches, if how they had to give away patches and stuff at the DA.
Yeah, we used to have them designed, especially like if you worked a case. We did different OCDF operations. Back then, we were allowed to do things like that. Now they've really clamped down on how we use money.
Oh, too bad.
You know, when I was in Little Rock, we actually started a like an SRT team, like a SWAT team. Now all of our divisions have them, and we designed a patch for the state. And my dad actually, he was in graphic arts. He actually designed it, and then we had it created, and then we had it subdued and put it on our SWAT uniforms, and that was pretty cool. I still have that patch, and another great memory of my dad. So
that's pretty
awesome. Your dad would probably be really upset if he knew about AI nowadays.
Yeah,
it'd probably take a lot of work out of making stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah, AI about it, right?
It's all words now. It just makes it for you.
Yeah.
True. Punch a few keys on the computer and we're worldwide. So
yeah.
Is AI going to affect anything in the DEA agency, by the way? Just out of curiosity. I mean,
I haven't heard anything at DEA about AI. In law enforcement in general, I mean, yeah, it's been being talked about quite a bit. They're actually, we were actually looking at how we could potentially use it for things like cold cases. So, you know, because AI can learn.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be. And there have been some movement on that where you take a file and you feed it into AI, and then it looks at it and it says, hey, you interviewed Brian Townsend, but he mentioned this guy named Matt. You didn't ever talk to him, so perhaps you needed to speak to him next. It just maybe it finds things that you didn't see, and it's just the thing about cold cases is you always need a fresh, well, not always, but sometimes a fresh pair of eyes helps. That's why a lot of times the departments will reopen these cases after a number of years and give it a fresh look, a fresh perspective, and if AI can help with things like that, and there's a lot of other technologies and a lot of other applications. My concern is that it takes over critical thinking and decision making. Of it.
Skynet.
Yeah, right.
What was it? Was it Shay? Were we talking about the 23andMe and all the things last episode when they were finding people off of they were finding people through the through the family connections that they got going on?
Mm-hmm.
As a DA do stuff like that? Do they also involve those kind of things? Because I don't want to do it if I'm going to be like, well, your uncle's like this gangster you've been trying to get for the longest time. You're going to jail too. What?
Yeah, familia DNA. It's a thing. It's being exploited. Usually, law enforcement has to buy that stuff from business, but it's definitely being exploited. It's definitely a way to
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Andy's here. He's out on a call earlier, so he messaged me and said he's going to be running late. So glad to have you, Andy. Yeah, Brian, we interviewed a Fairfax County police major, and he is now retired, and his passion is going after the DNA family tree stuff and solving cold cases.
Awesome.
He's got a I don't want to if it's a business or what, but that's his little his little thing now that he's gotten out. So
that's great. That's wonderful. I mean, to think about those cold cases, there's a family somewhere that's going to be very thankful that their loved one or friend or whatever is, maybe there's some justice in that investigation.
The reason that would start freaking me out is because there's a Netflix documentary called Our Father. Is all these people across this state that the fertility doctor ended up being all of them's father.
Oh my goodness. What a creep.
It was nuts. They all had a lot of similar medical issues, and it eventually, once they did the test, it all ended up leading back to they couldn't find the doctor, but they could find his wife. And I'd be like, oh, that would just be like the worst possible thing ever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll take having like an uncle that's a serial killer than that.
All right.
We all have one in the family, I'm sure, if you go back far enough.
Right. Jack the Ripper. Oh no.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to hear about any in upstate New York.
Oh, there's plenty from up there, I'm sure. Well, Brian, or you've ever thought about writing a book? You've got to have some interesting stories.
I'm gonna make a podcast.
Yeah.
My other passion is leadership, and I'm actually writing a book on my leadership principles, but I don't know if it'll ever be finished. I'm probably 14, 15 pages in, and
Keep going for it.
Yeah.
You never say never. So
I need another book for my shelf.
Yeah, it would probably be interesting to have a book about you growing up and making those choices the way you did, and then just sticking with it. That'd be really cool.
I think my mom might be the only one who buys it. So,
well, she's supportive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a fun career, but it's I don't know that there's a book there, but the leadership stuff, I certainly am. I'm very passionate about that as well. So,
well, it seems to me that it could be, you could tie both of them in together, really, because it would make a good story that, you had, you knew from a young age this is what you wanted to do. You rose through the ranks to do it, and now it led you to this passion for leadership, and then
yeah.
Well, there's also the other angle, like for my type of injury as paramedics at EMS, we were trained about all kinds of bad guys and things getting you. You never thought about the wildlife.
Yeah, right.
And so, but from your angle, you could write a textbook to teach people how to educate the youth. I mean, and that's a thing, because there's a different way they connect different than we did. Like, we didn't have the internet. We went out and did things different. So that's going to be a real thing. So you could do that as that would help generations.
Yeah. And that's what, I don't want to,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just, you could even look at maybe something that is targeting more the younger audience.
Yeah, the fentanyl. I mean, that's I don't want to jinx it. One of the things we're trying to do is we're working with someone right now trying to figure out how we can train younger people to do 30-40 minute conversations on the dangers of illicit fentanyl and other drugs, and have the message come from their peers. So we'll see. I mean, I enjoy doing it, but if we can be force multipliers and get more people out there, they can be effective, then that's a good thing.
I think the message of it coming from peers would make a big difference.
Yeah.
In getting, teens and young adults more comfortable with that conversation.
Yeah, and that's what we want, right? We want them to, and maybe even from there, other conversations, sex, alcohol. I mean, there's just so many different things that they should be thinking about and talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So no one. We know through a lot of research that works. I mean, like I said earlier, the drug prevention works. We know that talking to your own kids works. I saw the latest statistics I found is your child's 50% less likely to use drugs. You talk to him or her about it at an early age. And I know 50% doesn't sound like a lot, but I tell you what, 50% is better than 1%, right?
Yeah.
2% or even 49%.
I worked with a gentleman that me and a friend of mine that I grew up with, he worked with the United Way, and they had a camp every summer that was like a 4-day camp that was basically on educating kids on drugs, sex, alcohol, and
That's
bringing
awesome.
a lot of kids up from like the inner city to who weren't used to being in like, a camp environment like that. And it wasn't just, you had these classes all day, but they made it fun, and it also like helped them be able to express themselves more while teaching them.
That's awesome. That sounds like it helped folks and especially young people. And I'm all about that. That's a great thing.
Yeah. Well, Brian, I know we've kept you a little bit longer than we meant to. So I apologize for us getting a little bit of a late start there. You are welcome back anytime you want to come on the show. If you want to just come hang out one Friday night, if you're bored, let me know. We'll pop you in there. We appreciate it. And as always, you know, if you can teach and educate one person, make a difference, that's what counts. So hopefully.
Sometimes that's all it takes too.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. It's been fun and yeah, thank you. Appreciate the offer as well.
Yeah, no worries. And you find those coins, and we want to see them. So if you keep your computer on, you don't have to necessarily be a part of the show, but you can watch. Matt's got a really cool one. I want to have him show. I love that coin, so I'm so jealous of him. But yeah, if anybody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they go about doing it?
So my main website is www.eagle6training, and the 6 is just the number. So EAGLE 6, and then TRAINING.com. If they'd like to learn more about my work with fentanyl, our website is www.only2mg, and again, the 2 is just the number. So ONLY2MG.com. My contact information is on there, and I'd love to help any way I can.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
anytime you want to come back, holler at us, and I'll keep in touch with you. And when you get that book ready to publish, let us know.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You've got all the supporters here for it.
Yeah.
You're great people.
That's it. All right, Brian, you have a nice night, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, all right. Well, Andy, you missed our big announcement. I gotta move this somewhere. I don't know where. We announced that we are on a new television network. We are on Fuel Network TV. So you can go and learn all about them. And you will see all of our shows, the Grin Guardian Gang, the Lipman on football, Paranormal Guys, and Misfits. So, yeah.
On Roku and the Fire Stick.
You've made it to the big time. We are on a Roku and a Fire Stick.
Yes.
Hey, that's big.
It is big. And I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm extremely proud of the people that have helped get me there. Matt and you have helped me a lot. Andy's been there and pushed me through a lot of things as a friend. So yeah, absolutely. It's not a small thing. We're kind of a big deal now. So Dean is going to give me hell now that I said that. So. She coined that, but it's gotten bigger than we planned.
We're kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. So yeah, it's not the way it started, but with the Grin and Guardian, if we can get a message out to one person about something like that, that's great. He was talking about that sugar packet and the 2 milligrams. This is a great. Man, I'm having flashbacks of paramedic school because we all failed their first pharmacology test. I mean, the whole class did. And he comes in with packets of sugar, a pound of sugar, and that was the way he taught us pharmacology. It was so funny when he said that I started having paramedic flashbacks. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
It was making me think there was like a little mini documentary that I watched on Facebook about in Pennsylvania, how bad tranq is in Pennsylvania right now. And they were interviewing like a small little family that was making what they considered the safe fentanyl. What they did, what they were doing so that you knew the difference. Like they were like putting food safe dye in it so that you knew if you bought it that, okay, well, this is purple, so I know that it's from people that I can trust with my drugs.
Yeah, this one we use Tylenol.
Well, and to him saying like, oh, when you get your wisdom teeth taken out, they give you like 30, 90 pills. I was like, shit, they gave me 5.
Yeah.
Well, he talked about the pain thing, and it didn't hit me, but we went back we were not far out of the field, but we went back into school every 2 years you do, but that was when they introduced the pain scale to us as the 5th vital, as he said. And I'd forgotten about that totally. And that was yesterday.
No, I remember like laying there in bed after I'd gotten my wisdom teeth out, and I was like, yeah, I can understand how this is addictive. Because I could just feel it like come over my whole body just like this, like from the pain just stopping. And I was like, yeah, I can understand why people really like this.
I was on Oxycontin for like a month. And
they gave me oxycodone.
And just like you're saying, they're like, you're just giving away like candy. Like, here, this will make all your pain go away. Oh, but you might get addicted to it. You might have some like, some bowel problems, but here you go. Right? It's real. It's you get addicted to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they gave me like a Xanax of sort for day of, so that I would be chilled out. And I was pretty chill, because I don't even remember walking through the door to go back to the seat. And next thing I knew, I was in my sister's car. So,
yep.
But she was like handing me my medicine and everything, and just that feeling of like I could feel like from here up felt fine, from here down was still hurting, and I was just like, oh God.
That's some serious stuff right there. Tell you. I remember my very first kidney stone. I went in and they start you, after they've learned about the drug problem, they start you on smaller doses on things. And after like 6 attempts of whatever drugs they were using, they've changed drugs. I'm like, do something, man. I'm going to hurt somebody.
Well, and my thing too it could just be how it affected me with the oxycodone. Like my sister stopped, and I don't know if y'all have been to West Virginia or know about it in West Virginia, but there's a little, in most places it's only for breakfast, but they do serve lunch and dinner foods. It's called Tudor's Biscuit World.
That's nice.
You gotta have some if you come through here. But the only thing that I could have was biscuits and gravy. And I'm laying there and I've got like a Scooby-Doo pillow pushed up on either side to hold my face up. And I was watching Gothica and half eating, and while the medicine was kicking in, and then all of a sudden I was just like, and I was just like, how do people function doing this? I'd be walking through the house and then I'd probably have blacked out and ran into the wall or something.
I think that's how they get in trouble. It's like, okay, the 500 milligrams Tylenol didn't work. I'm going to take 1,000. Okay, that worked. Well, then 6 months later, that doesn't work. So I'm going to take 1,200. And he is absolutely right about there's people dropping over that you don't. I mean, one of the craziest ones I remember was a waitress. She went on a smoke break, and
I remember you talking about
a pill, and it's like, what are you thinking? But apparently, she had built a tolerance up, and then she got that one pill that was a little too much. Yeah, it's just crazy, and it is rampant. I mean, you walk past people going down the street, and I guarantee you 1 in 5 is got it.
So our former boss, who's part of the volunteer fire department, always used to have Narcan on her. And I participate in our company's Pride event down in Charleston, down in the Capitol. And they have booths set up specifically for you go sign everything. They tell you how to use it. They send you off with Narcan. So I was like, yep, I'm just going to keep this in my bag.
Well, he's, I do have mixed emotions on it because, I mean, I don't know that that's making the problem better or worse. I mean, I'm still waffling about it. I understand how it helps people, obviously, because I've seen it. But I didn't get to give him a little ribbing about, you go to on a call, and PD's beat you there, and they've already give 4 doses of Narcan. It turns out they were diabetic. They just needed some sugar. That's one of the funniest things. Police are quick to give it. So not that that's bad.
The only thing that really bothers me, and I can't really put my finger on why it bothers me, is the vehicles that openly have like the stickers or the magnets that say I carry naloxone or whatever it's
Oh wow, I haven't seen that.
I've seen so many of them around here, and I just, something about it,
That's crazy.
Why do you gotta put it on the vehicle?
Yeah, why are you broadcasting it?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's odd, but
yeah, it's something about it, and I can't tell you why. It just, I don't like it. Like, I don't feel like you need to broadcast it. Just be there and be the hero when you're there and you have it.
It's like saying you're a child predator and you put a bumper sticker in your car. I'm a child predator.
I wish they would do that.
Yeah, right?
We could eliminate that problem real quick.
That would be more helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean, story to tell you about later on that.
some places have been, restaurants and places, it's been good that they've had it, but I just, like I said, I don't know how to feel about it, because when it first came out, it was a big deal for us as paramedics. We had to draw it up in a vial, then we had to mix it, then we had to inject it, and
now it's just like a little.
Now it's yeah, Tylenol here, take one. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just I don't know if it just seems like you're flaunting it, maybe, or it just comes across a little cringy to me.
Yeah,
I'm just you don't need to. Because, I mean, who honestly is running around a Walmart parking lot looking for bumper stickers of...
there's people. There's people. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Walmart parking lot. Yeah. Okay, but have you been to Beckley? I feel like you've been to Beckley. That would happen in Beckley Walmart, but...
Yeah.
Shoot, man. We had a... Beckley Walmart was rough. We had a dude, because I don't know if you guys would know anything about Huntington down our way, but Huntington used to be really bad, and Charleston is really bad. But Beckley is another kind of crazy. And
level.
Yeah, and I mean, if like the pictures that you see of like people watching it in Walmart was a thing, like had its own show, it would be Beckley Walmart.
That should have its own show.
But we were just hanging out one day, and here this dude comes in, and he was like, almost looked like he was half backward bent over, and it's just like walking over to sit down in a chair, and we were like, we stopped one of the workers and we're like, what is? And she's like, oh yeah, he just OD'd. And we were just like, take him outside. Don't leave him over here near us.
All right.
It's the third time today,
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, as you all know, last week, Shay stepped in and helped out a whole lot for me. I was at a coin show in Tallahassee, Florida. So
how'd that go?
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, what you get? Come on, man. I know you were getting all those coins instead of selling.
Quit hiding the goods.
I was getting to them. And
quicker.
Well, did you say like a Star Wars one or something? That was really cool that you saw.
Oh my gosh.
Describe that again. What did that look like?
Okay, so on the back of the coin is just flat, but on the front, the stormtroopers, and they're different colors except for white. And you think about why that is, but they sold them as sets with different branches. Branches or different parts of Florida. It was the Florida Highway Patrol patch, but then on the back it would be, they may have I don't know, I'll name counties I know, like Escambia, Tallahassee, whatever, all, that jurisdiction, that was their own special one. But then there was hierarchy with the color of it too, in size, as far as if you were like a sergeant, lieutenant, whatever. So you could have a green front with your state patch on the back, and then your local patch, because they support local police patches. And then, of course, as you go through the ranks, well, you may, like you're a chief, you earned all the way up. So yeah, apparently it's a big deal down there, and they were not cheap. They were not cheap at all. Beautiful coins though. Oh my gosh.
What was the size dimension? Like, was there thickness? Like,
it was thick. It was like easily 3 inch, 3.5 inches, and it was,
holy cow.
It was like pretty thick. Like
10 millimeters thick, like pretty
yeah,
thick.
Yeah. They were pretty thick. Yeah.
And how much are they selling them for?
I was thinking they were the small
set, right?
No, you could buy individuals, but I mean the small one, which is 2.5, I think it was $50. The small one. But they were very, very well done, very intricate, very nice. And it was a big deal. People were all over them.
May I ask the specifics of why you can't have the white stormtrooper? Is it because of why I think?
Think about it.
That's why, is it because of why I think?
We're on Field TV. We should qualify. It's not for a racist reason. If you're a Star Wars fan, you could figure this out. So it's not for a racist reason.
Well, I am a Star Wars fan, and I don't know.
But so anyways, Glenn, so you got there and you basically felt like you were there way ahead of the curve. Like you set your table up and you're like, huh. Yeah.
Yeah, I set my table up. And I was I had more fire stuff, obviously. So I was outgunned. The fire and EMS world is not represented in coins at all. Hardly.
Oh, that's sad.
I went around, it was probably 35 tables, 4 foot whatever tables. And I would imagine I saw only a couple fire department coins and even patches there. Wow. Everything was all police or federal. And of course, Florida was well represented because, it was there in Tallahassee, their state training center. But I was just kind of like, wow. And everybody come over to my table. It was funny, like, oh, you got fire stuff. And I'm thinking it was like, oh, God, I got one fire thing or one police thing. So
now I wish I would have given you my coins so you can have something down there, brother. Dang.
Oh, I mean, it's all good. I made a lot of good contacts. In fact, one of the ladies that I met, she came by and she was just shopping, just window shopping and looking. And I tried to talk to everybody that come up to the table. I wasn't trying to sell them anything. I was just, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And she looks at me, she goes, you're the first person that's talked to me. And she apparently had started, and I was next to the door on the way out. I was like, oh, well, welcome. I said, I don't know what you're looking for, but this is it. And it's mostly fire. And she was kind of laughing. She goes, no, you really. And she turned to 2 friends of hers. One was in uniform, a police officer. And says, this is the first guy to talk to us. Why is that? And I was like, well, I don't know. And she goes, well, I'm going to give you something. I was like, oh. And so she says, I have my own coin. She says, I'm the chief of police of.
Man.
She says, I'm the chief of police of Midway, which is where the state headquarters is, state training center is. And so she gifted me and my wife a coin, a very nice coin.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and she is the chief of police. She's a very charismatic, beautiful young lady. I told her all about her show, and of course, she had to get a Grin and Guardian coin. So I gave her a coin. She got a Thin Line T-shirt. She didn't know about the Thin Line Rock Station, and it was pretty cool. So I've got her card. She wants to come on her show, so I told her I'd give her a little bit of time, and we'd have her on. I said, if you've made your own coin, Chief, What was funny was all these officers who are around her, because like I said, the training center sits in her city. But it's the whole state training center for Florida Highway Patrol, all the deputies, everybody.
Uh-oh.
He's in the middle.
Call me. This is going to annoy me if it's going to continue to do this. So,
did you go to the other dimension?
Matt, you ready to take over the show?
that will happen so quick. I didn't have a chance to go to another dimension, but no, I was calling her Chief. Yeah, I was calling her Chief, and she's like, "Why are you calling me Chief?" And I'm like, "Because you earned it." You know, I mean,
because you are the chief.
Yeah, you're the chief. You earned the right to. I mean, you know, that was the way I was trained coming up. And Matt, we grew up by an Army base, so I learned. That's why I couldn't tell you Navy ranks how they work, but I learned all the Army ranks just because my friends' parents were all, you know, in the military. And funny story there, my best friend Ken, he's probably listening. He's probably in the chat still. I was never told that he was a 1-star until he passed away. I was never told that. So yeah, and he earned it all the way out. And now I think about all the disrespectful things over the years. I was like, I said that to a general. Oh.
Well, that's just how you know he's a really good friend.
Yeah. Well, no. He was a great guy. Ken never told us. You know, he knew. So, but yeah, that was cool. So yeah, it always my entire life.
That's like where in more of the South, it's like the sir and ma'am. Yeah,
but yeah, the whole time. And then the other cool one, I want to say I earned this one. It's we were in Seminole, Florida Seminoles country. I say I got to put that logo back up there. Andy,
careful, you might close out again.
Oh, jeez. Don't make me say anything dirty on the new network. So this one is a tomahawk for the Florida Seminoles. And it's got the highway patrol on one side and then the training academy on the backside.
That's cool.
That's cool.
And the funny story on it was this kid apparently had come and was looking at all the stuff and at all the tables. And apparently he had come while I was not there, and he came back a second time when I was at the table because, you know, I was going out trying to meet people and, you know, get coins and stuff. And he asked me, he goes, "Sir, I don't have any money, but would you like to trade?" And I'm like, "Okay."
Yes.
And he had, well, I haven't showed it on the show, but the Mount Vernon Monster, which is my Bigfoot coin. He's like, "This is really cool. Can I have one?" I'm like, "Of course you can." So I traded him for that. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, I think, and that was the only coin he got that day. I saw him later, and I was like, "So what else did you score?" He's like, "Oh no, I only had Dad only give me that one to trade." And I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." Out of all the ones there, see, all these cops learn something. Get a Bigfoot coin.
Yeah. hey, Glenn, how often does that thing go for? Like, how often do they have it?
They say they're going to have it yearly.
Okay.
So
same time,
next
same
year.
month?
Yeah, pretty close, I think. I think they might move it closer to summer because it was just not quite Florida warm yet. I mean, it was warm for me. But
they could pick up the summer.
Hey, I was in the pool. I was in the pool. It was 38, but I was in it.
You got to go to Hooters. You were good. You got the Florida experience.
Hey, I will tell you, Tallahassee is a foodie city. Holy cow. There are more restaurants there that serve just there was a place that served gourmet macaroni and cheese, like could put chili, meatloaf, please. Buffalo style. That was pretty amazing for a fat kid. So we ate there twice.
Put some meatloaf on my mac and cheese, please.
It's definitely a foodie town, but. And then while I was out,
diabetes just thinking about it.
You get the sugars. And then while I was gone, my coin came in, which came in earlier than I expected. That I had created once again. It's fire department. I had this one designed by a different coin manufacturer, and well, if I can get it out of the the little bag, it wasn't exactly what I anticipated, but I'm happy. I'm very pleased with it. Very pleased with it. it is, of course, my old fire department in Tennessee. Good Lord, they put that one in there. Like
You said
it's never coming
you
out.
designed it, or they designed it for you?
Well, I mean, the front is their patch. Obviously, I wore the patch for the fire department,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the back is the logo that is on all the fire trucks. Knox County, Tennessee, Rural Metro. Each division of Rural Metro has their own thing. Well, the bugles on the original one that I designed there was 2 bugles, which is a different rank, and they were face up instead of face down. That was for tradition. That was the way Rural Metro did theirs. I cannot find out why. If anybody watching in Fuel TV, YouTube, wherever knows, let me know. Because I really researched it, because bugles are supposed to be like shown pointed down, and the 2 on the old one are pointed up. And the new chief said, I don't want that. I'm not going to prove that. Like, okay, what do you want, Chief? I want my bugles. So that's why we got 3 bugles on it and redesigned it. But
just
Nice.
redesign it for him with a tiny bag of bugles there. And
hey, once again, he earned those bugles. He's got every right in the world to flaunt it.
run around with his bugle fingers.
It's like, it's like Matt, he knows he'll always be a chief. No matter what he does in life, he'll always be a chief,
That's true. That's true.
It's like, it's weird. It's just, but yeah, he wanted his bugles, and he argued with me. I was like, Chief, you're new there. Go look and see. I don't know why. And I've been there. I was there for 26 years, Chief, and I don't know why the bugles are upside down, and nobody knows. You ask anybody in there, that's because that's the way it is.
Yep.
Well, that's the way it was when I got here. So
it's probably some story about a business card printer screwing up or something. There's got to be a funny story that some chief knows from like 1943. So
well, that's kind of what I was thinking, because whenever I sent you that little video earlier, one of the reels on there was a guy talking about that if you found any of these coins, how particularly rare they were. And I was like, oh, I bet that's like they printed it in error, and that turns out to be what it was. So you watch it's like some printing error, and they just kept it, and they're like, yeah, it wasn't supposed to be that way, but we just didn't say anything.
Yeah, well, it's like that in anything, really. I've seen patches that way.
Well, and apparently, if you find any pennies from 1943 that are made of steel, they are worth close to $50,000. So,
wow,
learned that today.
Yeah, I never knew they were made of steel. So
they were only made of steel in 43, and if you find one in particular that says 44 that is made in steel, that is called it had a word, and I've heard it before. It's called a something, and it was made in error.
Wow.
So they're worth more. So for that, if it is steel and is printed and says 1944, that can be close to $150,000 for a penny.
I'm gonna
start ordering pennies.
It's like I need to start
pennies.
Well, it's no wonder some of these older people come in just to get coins, to dig through them and then bring them back.
Yeah,
coins aren't anything anymore.
So, Matt, have you got yours yet, or?
No, the Deadpool one is I had the sample, but so they were a success. They were a huge success. I got dang near almost 200 pre-sales. So I told the supplier, I was like, well, this is a popular item, so I'm gonna need 300. So the production kind of got bumped up to an extra week so that they can make sure they get them all done in time. But I do have, let me see, where's my other one? This is the one that I have right now, actually. Well, I think, did I tell you about this one?
I'm not sure. Oh, you were telling me you were designing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had made one already a long time ago when we first started, like the first 2 shows, and it was super duper. Like at the time, I was like, I really love like the nostalgia type stuff. So I had the supplier from last time. I don't use it anymore, but he made it all gold, but you can see like where the all the cracks and crevices, right? Like I don't know if you guys were back in the area where you're like taking your hot breath to it, you know, and you blow into it before you actually.
Yeah, and supposedly that doesn't work.
Yeah, supposedly it corrodes the actual end of the connectors in the end, and then it doesn't do anything for you. But so I was gonna do that, and then with this one this is version 2.0 pretty much. So I'm doing this one, and I'm hoping that it also is actually I'm actually pre-selling right now. Actually, it's getting there. People love stuff like that, right? So of course I had to put the cheap stuff on it, but the one I was telling us, I think I told you last time, it was the AI made part on the back there. So had a little help with that thing. But I had a lot of people like, and I'm sure Glenn, you probably get it too, if you're making like fire coins, like where's your police coins, or where's your other like services that you do? Why do you always do the same one? And I'm really trying to get away from doing like the cheap stuff, because there's tons of coin groups out there. Everybody has their own like preference for things, but it kind of, people want what they want, unfortunately. But again, it's like we talk about, right? It's not about just making a coin, right? It has some significance to it when you give it to somebody, and that's why I put the anchors on it most of the time. Give it to my junior guys or something like that. It means more. But yeah, this one's gonna be legit. It's gonna be like to the T, to the detail, like everything. Like you hold in your hand, going, "This is awesome," and it's gonna be bigger than the last one. So
bigger than the last one?
Yeah. So the last one was it was like two. It was like 3 inches, 3 inches by 2.5 inches. Now this one
Terminator.
Yeah,
is it Terminator? It's bigger than that one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
So when I
have one show, so for our new listeners and viewers,
every time I come on, I always forget to bring one. I'll show you the other one that I have. I always show this one off. This is one from the baseball.
I love that one. Hold on, I'm gonna make you bigger.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the one from NES Found. It has the ode to not so movie over here that everybody knows that's so famous about the Top Gun thing, but it's the font that I use that's kind of like that, and then it has sliding doors that open up with a golf ball marker. Grab it here. Totally dropped it. And yeah, so you get the golf ball marker held on by a magnet. Everybody golf.
It would be kind of like a cool belt buckle.
Yeah, I get into those sometimes too, but again, that's more of just preference on what people want. I've made buckles before, but it's always like an officer, somebody comes like, "Hey, I want my guys to have a buckle. Can you make one for me?" And I really like a base thing, but yeah, the buckles are actually pretty popular too. But
Wendell says that's not a coin; it's a plaque.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, he's laughing because the Terminator is 27 millimeters thick, and it's not a weapon; it's a placeholder for paper. So let me run and grab real quick. Hold on.
All right. Well, that's how he's talking about millimeters. That's how I got in trouble with this one. I won't say trouble, but he's like, the guy that was designing it for me. He's like, "Well, that's so beautiful." He says, "And it's got such details." He says, "Let's make it bigger." And I was thinking we were going from 2.5 inches. I didn't realize we were going to 3.5 inches, but it did. It turned out well. I'm very pleased with it, and I do have these for sale. So I will hook you up if you have a.
Matt's website isn't working.
I don't know what did I do? Andy, what are these? $20 each? 22? I don't even remember. Something like that.
Yep, about 22.
Yeah. And of course, the big one that Andy, I'm gonna block. Well, I'll put this down on that. The big one here this one is a hot item right now with the border. We were talking about come and take it, the Texas Star, and then it's surrounded.
And leave your drugs.
Copper. Come and take it. Try and come and take the barbed wire down. That's what it's supposed to mean, but obviously it means different things to different people. But I'm gonna make you full screen.
I'm gonna have to send you one. You just keep talking about it so much, Glenn.
That is just ridiculous. It's huge.
Yeah. It's literally like what is it?
It's 13, a weapon.
It's like a turtle. It's the size of one of those little turtles.
13 ounces. Yeah. They're going kind of fast. Everybody gets the same reaction when they like, just like you guys.
Well, it's
too big, or I'm not gonna use that thing as a weapon. I'm like, well, it's not a weapon. It's just
it's decorative and
this is one that Shay's got that I sent out to everybody, all my members. This actually is I'm almost actually out of these almost, but surprisingly, the one that doesn't sell that fast is the Back to the Future one.
That one's cool.
And I kind of agree. It's cool, but honestly, it's a little boring. I guess it could be better. I think it's more for just those specific individuals who like those kinds of things. Because I even posted the Back to the Future groups, and they're like, I get like onesie twosies, but but the Deadpool one, which is in my office right now, will be coming out here in about a week or two, and that's like nonstop. But what I do now, so I don't know if I have this one engraved.
I was trying to look at your website, but it's not working.
Yeah, I'm in the process of moving it per se.
Well,
It's I don't want to get all IT-y, but I'm moving the domain to somewhere else and not using Square anymore for other reasons.
I don't like to be kept waiting, Matt.
But no, as soon as the transfer happens, which is any day now, I'll have it back up. But I'm offering that. But so the cost of that coin is $45, and we've talked about it before about how much we charge. Why Glenn charges how much he charges for his. How much Andy probably charges for his, and the other guys. And so to offset the cost this time, they're actually able to have engravings done on their coins before they get them.
Oh,
so nice. I got a picture here. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? So now they can, like, if you want to have like an engraving of like a serial number.
Oh, that's cool.
So you have a serial number. You can have I am the best at what I do, right on there.
That's
you
cool.
Can have you can have the actual Wolverine on there vectorized if you want, whatever you want.
Can I get one?
Cool.
That
Good night, Wendell. Thanks for tuning in.
Can I get one and put Trav sucks balls on it?
Totally. Just don't say you got it from me.
Gotcha. I bought it off the dark web.
The dark web, yeah, totally. What are you talking about? Oh no, I've already got a bunch of requests. Could I get number 69? Like, really, dude? Come on, please. Like, it's not, as long as it's not anything you don't want to show your grandma, then yeah, sure, it's anything I'll engrave it for you. But it helps off that.
I need you to put 69 and then ... Nice.
Yeah, I can do that too if you want. We can have little hidden innuendos in there too of things. Let me in.
Well, the one I'm wanting to work on. I just haven't figured out how to get that person in a
corner. What about the alien one?
Yeah,
I've been throwing that one. I've been trying to like hint it.
But now I want to do something with police, but I don't know what. So
make Bigfoot a police officer. I don't know. Put a hat on him and then give him a gun.
I could do that.
You're the guy. You got Fred Flintstone in the Deadpool outfit. Put a Bigfoot in the police outfit, man.
Yeah, I could do. Well, I've got a Bigfoot firefighter patch. So
there you go. Yeah, have them freaking clawing out of it or something like we did with the pickle off of what's his calling. Just something cool.
Oh, I can't wait to. I don't know. He's promised us something. He's like, I've got something for you.
What?
Because he feels like he made the mistake. The salesman. I was like, dude, you didn't make the mistake. You caught it. I mean, I don't know if he caught it, but I said you were the one that made the decision before I even got back to him.
Yeah. But it did come out. It did come out pretty sweet, though. I mean,
yeah,
that coin is actually pretty legit.
Well, the sides
and it's a
look
monster
a lot better.
size, yeah.
Yeah, that's like
that thing's huge.
That's like full.
Huge. yeah. So, but yeah,
I wonder how much they're gonna sell it for.
I have no idea. I mean, I know what she paid, but
you know what she paid, right? Okay.
Yeah. But I was really surprised because a lot of times, when you're dealing with the manufacturer's reps, some of them are nice, some of them are jerks, which I found out with this last coin.
And depends on what day you catch them.
Yep.
But this guy, he came to me and he's like, "Look, what do you think? He goes, I sent him back and said, try and polish it off. And so he sent me more pictures where it was sellable. It was okay. And I said, okay, well, now I'm going to present it to her. And so I messaged her and sent the pictures. And I said, I'm not going to give you my opinion what to do either way, which I didn't. And so she told me what she wanted. Before I could get back to him, he said, they've all been destroyed. Like, what?
No, melted down and destroyed.
I was like, dude, seriously. You could have saved me one.
Is it like 100?
Yeah, she ordered 100, yeah.
Wow.
So,
they just melted down 100 coins.
yeah. So surprised somebody wasn't taking out in China, taking out back and shot in the head.
Jeez.
Well, you don't know who you were talking to, whether it was the boss or not. So,
well, the lady that helped me with the Texas coin, there was no uncertain terms. I would never make another coin through you again, ever.
To be fair though, what you wanted, you were doing your best to explain it though. I knew what your vision was. That's why I was trying to help you during that time. You have to be so like you with the Deadpool coin, like you have to be very, very specific on how you.
Yeah, when I do the pill one, when I figure it out, you're probably gonna have to Google Translate. Doesn't always work.
No, use Chat AI, not Google Translate. Come on, Glenn. The Chat AI can talk for you.
I'm still learning this stuff, man. It's a whole new world out there for me.
Not harder. I got you.
Yes, I'm gonna make something with police, and I know in the police groups there is a coin that is round and like a teal colored, and it has the stamp on it like it is an actual OxyContin or oxycodone pill. On one side, that's the entire side of it. It's pill shaped. That's the entire side of it. And the other side is the departments, or whatever department.
What a coin.
Can't keep them in stock. And I'm like, the hell? So,
man.
Yeah. So
sometimes
that's why
it's a simple designs, man.
Yeah, it's very simple. So
let me see. I think I got another one.
There's one that these people had posted on the group, and it's like The Office. One side looks like the
But the sad thing is, I became an admin of that group, and we've got over 10,000 people in that group, and we're broadcasting live on that group right now. Oh, that's nice.
So a guy hit me up. His wife retired from the Navy as a first class, and obviously she's a Crimson Tide fan. And it's, again, this is an example of a very simple design, right? It's literally just the U.S. Navy Security Forces badge. Like that's what it looks like.
I thought that was like old school Spawn in the middle there for a minute. I was like, yeah, all right, I'm down.
But like, and then in the back, it's just the Crimson Tide breaking through the coin, kind of like effect.
Yeah. Big
it's
Al.
Really, really nice. Do you know how much these coins are? Take a guess how much each one of those coins are.
45.
No, I mean how much it costs how much the suppliers charge. Sorry, how much he's paying.
$15.50.
$2 a coin.
Yeah, there's something going on. Prices are dropping. I don't know if you noticed
$2 a coin. Now that's not mole fees and stuff, but
yeah,
I was like, are you sure? Because okay.
Well, yeah, that's why they're getting more competitive.
I'm sure. Well, they know that everybody shops around. I mean, what's stopping?
And we're learning them.
Yeah,
and we're learning them. It's like I got one I sent out when I started. Was it the rule? Yeah, when I started the Rule Metro coin again, I couldn't remember through a long series of unfortunate events. Remember who made the original one, and I wasn't going to use. I would use the company. I just wasn't going to go to that person, and I found the company, but in my emails trying to send out to everybody, even though they had different emails and different names, I emailed the same person like 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, dude, seriously. So,
yeah.
And then when I found the people, they said, well, that's not your design. That's, I won't do it. I was going to push the nasty button. That's his design. I said, no, that's not. And I can prove it. Yeah. So,
well, again, it's like you said, they probably know each other. They don't want to step on each other's toes. So,
Yeah, so yeah,
Oh,
but
this one is super neat. This is New York City Police Department Narcotics Division.
oh my gosh, New York Police Department has so many coins.
Well,
If you were to,
it's
if
Have you
were
seen the guys on Facebook with the walls of just coins?
Yes.
They got? Like
Yes.
walls. Oh my gosh. Is that really New York City one?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
dope.
It looks like it looks like Krampus almost.
Krampus of weed.
It's their
Yeah.
it's their holiday edition. He's
There's
smoking, joking.
Traffic Division. When Transformers the movie came out, they had a whole series of just Optimus Prime and Bumblebee.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they were as big as the Terminator one you had. They were pretty big.
Yeah.
Can y'all explain to me like what? I apologize. The significance of why so many people have Star Wars coins and they say Disney police.
If you're not in that club, by God, do not have that stamped on there. Holy
Secret
cow.
police. Yeah, right.
I don't get it.
Disney started
I get the other joke now, which I think would make
Yeah, they
it
keep-
funnier, but
they can't hit the broadside of a barn, but
Mhm.
yeah, no, Disney started it. It's kind of a novelty thing. When you would come through, when they started screening people with the metal detectors, well, officers that are sworn carry no matter where they are. You could be vacationing in Florida from Texas. And so they started it as a novelty. They had their security officers. When one comes through, and obviously you're gonna know that they're an officer, give them one of these. It was a coin with the badge on one side and like Mickey Mouse is dressed as a police officer on the other. It got to be such a hot item. Police officers coming to vacation just to get the coin. It got kind of crazy. And so the Disney went a little nuts, and they had, well, this year we did Minnie Mouse. This year, 99, we did Donald Duck. In 2000, we did Pluto.
well,
And of course, they've got the whole world now with Marvel to go to. It's just exploded.
It's more than Marvel. They got their hands in a lot of cookie jars.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, this
Yeah.
all
So
seems,
many.
and these ones all seem to be solely Star Wars ones too.
Yeah, they got the whole Star Wars universe. It's so, and they
And I love
they
this
are
green
very
one.
niche. Which one?
Yeah.
That green one.
Oh yeah.
I thought about doing a Star Wars coin for May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Says Ice Eero, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's cool.
The one that was most popular at the show down there, I think it was the Scambia County Police Department that had the police officer that wasted his cruiser. There was a white coin that had their county patch on the back of it. So
that's cool.
That was a hot ticket. I was like, oh, that's so bad.
So was it like a huge auditorium, Glenn? Was it like a big gym or something, or what?
About the size of a gym.
Was this like what you're? Hold on.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's just a pill. Yeah.
Autofocus.
Yeah. Well, and it's white too. So.
Well, it's pink.
Yeah.
I'll send it in the chat.
But yeah, they're just small. But yeah, about the size of a gym with 30 tables along the outer edge, and then I don't know, maybe 20 in the middle, and then there was a little place where you stand up, like there, like a high school gymnasium, so to speak.
Oh, that is cool.
So it's basically like a con, but for coins.
Yep.
That is cool.
The next one, I know. So that's what I said. That's what got me the pill idea.
The texture is so good.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I was like, "Ooh, it's a matte finish."
Yeah, what is that? Man, one pill can kill. That's pretty cool though.
Now you got to help me, Matt, figure out how to make that person a coin. So,
let me see. Did I shoot you the image?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, the AI generated image.
Yep. I just got to figure out how to make that on a coin.
Well,
that's cool.
I think what you should do, you should probably have all the pills in the coin.
No, I just got it.
Go ahead, what?
Like Han Solo was frozen.
Yes.
Oh.
He's frozen.
God,
his foot's got the tank in off and it's frozen and all of it's just filled up. Ooh, you can even have a direct relation to it.
You need to help me figure out how to tell the people. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing that one. So I don't know what's on the back. But
have you seen the Han Solo ones?
Yeah. Yeah.
You've seen the other ones that people have actually done? They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty. And that's why when you held it up with the phone, I was seeing it differently. Yeah.
Well,
than I do. So but I'm saying when you just held it up like that, I saw it differently than I have been looking at it.
That's one of my favorite things too.
No, I love absolutely. It says use wisely.
That's true.
Use in emergency.
That got Maryland in trouble.
I need that for work so I can just slap it down on the counter and be like,
Oh, we are up against a hard break here because they only gave us 2 hours on the Fuel TV network. So let's get our little thing in real quick. Shay, where can we find you?
I will be here as always next week. And then on Sunday, I will be recording with Bracket Busters.
Bracket Busters.
Bracket blisters, and I guess we're talking about boobs. So,
all right, bracket busters and boobs.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't say anything. I'll get in trouble.
I'll keep y'all updated.
You,
come on.
You were a good nomination. I'll just leave it at that. Andy, where can we find you?
Here on Friday nights.
All right. Matt,
every morning trying to give me diabetes.
Hey, you have to admit you like the boobs pictures.
Where can we find you, Matt?
All same time, same place, same channel. On the middle of the desert with the tumbleweed flying by. I got nothing going on here, so I'll be here on Fridays like always.
Cool. Well, you're welcome to join the Misfits, which is tomorrow night, Saturday night. We have 2 comedians coming over to teach us about comedy and all the right ways to say your favorite jokes.
Teach
so we
you
got
about comedies. I don't think I have any good dad jokes.
That's what I'm
they
hoping.
said.
I need a good like list of dad jokes to just start rambling off. I feel like my list is low.
Yep, they said anybody that wants to come on and basically is challenge a comedian, come on over. So we'll have that tomorrow night, and then we have the Paranormal Guys Wednesday night. We have a author, and we have we'll just talk about him when you get to the show. And then next week we have I'm not sure who we have on here. I'll have to look. I've talked to so many people I've gotten confused. So
it's actually not written on my schedule, so I can't help you out there.
Well, I talked to a lot of people about it. So that's it. You can find us here at Fuel TV. I want to thank YurgsRadio.com for allowing us not only the use of their radio, and you can go back and re-listen to this later. Also, they give us the toll-free number, which is 1-888-88-YRGZ for all 3 of our shows. We are also available in WDJY Atlanta, WRFN in Atlanta, in Nashville. I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, and our number 1 sponsor of this show, the Thin Line Rock Station, www.thethinlinerockstation.com. Check me out Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm playing disco on a rock station. You never know what'll happen.
And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
And please come over to the Paranormal, all different words, guys with a Z on YouTube and subscribe. Like, follow, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until next week, thank you. And welcome to the
we're worldwide.
Whatever group, Fuel TV Network. Now I gotta know what buttons to push. Hold on here.